And we're back to another episode of Creative Leadership, where we're always looking for ways to help the university grow to new higher heights. But this is part 2. If you didn't listen to part 1, I definitely implore you, I applaud you if you do listen to it, because that means you're a good follower. But if you have not listened to part 1, definitely go take time now to go do that. Do not listen to this part 2, because you only get how important and how diverse and how decorated this young man is. But I can't call you a young man. You're probably older than me, right?
No, I was one of the youngest in that year.
29.
28.
Right,
28.
you old.
And that's just
You was a nurse, mate. You know what I get you, look. You was a nurse. Anyway,
that's
so
the wayside ages.
yeah, that's cool. Trying to get married before 30s. But
Why?
so this
Don't rush that.
last time we touched a lot of key areas. You know, we touched a little bit of faculty.
Mm-hmm.
You heard a lot of pride and of the process and understanding of the process. But let's hit the student angle. Let's go back in our student seats, right?
Estudiante.
This semester began with, like they say, people dropping the ball. There was this long line for 2 days.
Right.
Only 2 days. I tell people
Right.
statistically 2 days. Where people complain about the long line, the process wasn't fixed. The university apologized, we fixed it. But one thing me and Dawn said on our first show, which sadly we cannot show episode 1 to 4, because we have to be responsible.
Yeah.
I don't think we would still be hired if we put that out there. But the episodes were good.
Right.
And one thing that we did tell the students who are in here is that at the end of the day, you have to do your part as a student. Before school closed for our first semester, you should have made sure your scholarship letter was straight. You should have made sure your payments was there. You should have started the process. So by the time school closed, when you come back, you're straight.
Right.
Now, a lot of the students who were straight started to bubble up after the whole thing was finished and all the media finished. It was like, so none of your students saw the thing online where you could have paid.
Online.
And it's like, and people started to come up on the UB Survival Group like, y'all don't have this down on the line, you know. And this is the truth. And furthermore, even with the announcement of the university saying we're open this weekend. Saturday and Sunday we're open from 9 to 5. And we paying people. I came on Saturday and Sunday and I shared the pictures to the group. I was like, y'all told us after 2 days, which the university registered most of the students and got most of the issues completed in 2 days, even though it was a big rush. In 2 days, y'all told us that y'all needed us open. We open this weekend. It's like, y'all trickling in. But it's the long lines.
Right.
And this is the reality that I told students. As somebody who's in charge of social media, you have to be careful. That's why the university didn't respond to everything. Because you can make it on social media, you can make it look like a building is burning. Literally, you can make it look like something is burning down. Y'all need to come here now. This is important. All because everybody's recording and they're sending it out to their WhatsApp groups and they're sending it on Facebook. And then we're following people and we're like, oh my God, he's still online. He was there from. You know what I mean? Like, so if you don't be careful of social media, sometimes you're kind of built up for the wrong reasons. So as students, and definitely from our perspective, how they're going through the process, what do you currently think about the student process or their way of thinking, their paradigm of thought in these day and age, and what do you think they can do to kind of get ready for the next level, which is the working world that we're in?
Okay, so just a little background. I'm someone that I like to self-assess. I like to be very, very real and honest with myself. And one of the things that I like to apply when I'm faced with conflict is that there are 4 main types of, I guess, configurations when conflict arises, where you have 2 entities. One where one person did one person wrong, or the other person did it, that's 2. And then where both people have done each other wrong. And then something where no one has done anything wrong. It's just circumstance to create the conflict outside of anyone's control. I believe that most situations here at the university is where you have the university itself as well as the students creating conflicts. As it pertains to the long lines, from what you said, in terms of different alternatives that the university did provide to kind of alleviate or minimize that potential risk at the end. I think that students are culpable because they didn't do the due diligence, straight up and plain. There were other avenues, and they were unaware. They were...
Let's bring up the one, because I think there was some pushback from students in that some faculty didn't post their grades on time. I asked the students, so let me get this straight. School closed in December, and your teacher didn't post your grade?
But I think that's a deflection, though. I think it's a deflection because they're 2 different issues. How can you bring a separate issue to validate another one? These should be held separate.
But that's for bursary students.
But you gotta,
right.
So you gotta understand.
Right.
You gotta understand. There is a bit of currency in being a victim of something, right? Like it gives you this leeway to say things, and your voice becomes more important. technically, at least in people's eyes.
But a lot of that is eliminated through fact. A lot of students will say the
Yes, it was,
university
yes.
never told me, but then the university.
But
And I
did.
always tell them this: we sent you an email, so that's a factual process. I
It's
can
true.
print to say I have informed you. If you choose not to check your email, check
Yes.
social media,
Yep.
check us on social media,
Mhm.
and check the website, but then say, well, you didn't tell me. How you want me to tell you?
And that's really, I personally have some culpability on for the university because they understand, no one is a fool. Everyone understands this. We don't check our emails. I've been
Yeah.
here from 07 to 11. I've been back as staff. And I never check that email.
Oh my goodness.
It is not effective. So for the university, it's about implementing something, some avenue of communication between student, faculty, staff, and administration
Well,
that everyone can now gravitate
to
to,
be-
with
to
some
be
level
fair-
of comfort and
To
regularity.
be fair, there was also a push last semester, I think last year entirely, for students to link their private email address to their UB email.
That is not a hard function.
Well,
if
that's
you
always
if you have a
been-
Google,
yeah,
that's-
IT offered the service to students free of charge, obviously.
Mhm.
All students had to go in, just to show that they are a student, show their account
Mhm.
information, to say what
Right.
the email is, and then they just tag it to this. So you have like a separate section in your inbox of where your email comes in. I know several students that actually went about doing it,
Mhm.
so they knew about all these things, and they found it funny that everybody else was going through
I-
all this stuff.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
students also miss out on scholarship opportunities, because oftentimes
Yeah,
they
because
email it
actually,
out.
yeah,
and-
the financial aid this semester
Yep.
was sent via email,
Mhm.
and all they had to do was click accept. Now, I think if they had a challenge, there was some kind of button there for.
But yeah, but there's also
Click accept
there's
and eventually
OIT,
bill.
there's the help desk that.
What's the
is-
analytics on that one, though?
Say it again.
For the
I'm not sure,
financial aid? Where you
No, they would
click.
apply for a certain amount, and based on the assessment of the process,
Mhm.
they got an email saying,
Oh,
let's
yeah,
say you
yeah.
applied for 1,000.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay, okay.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
looked
yeah.
at your file, and based on the need, we are awarding you 800.
Oh, that's 100% digitized. So
How many
there's,
people- how much people applied?
I'm not sure.
I don't.
I'd want to see that percentage because if it's a low percentage, that still means that that avenue of communication is not used regularly.
Well,
So
that's-
it's not effective. Because I'm
Well,
pretty,
no, actually,
Uh-huh.
I would say I know financial aid students who were
Mhm.
very conveniently happy to know that all they did was click accept, and the total went directly to
Ah,
their bill,
okay, okay.
which is some of the new
Right.
functions of Banner. Banner is not
Mhm.
only going to allow that to happen, but
Mhm.
this year, if you did full payment,
Yeah.
you paid online. You didn't
Yep.
have to come on the line.
Yep.
So now we're working on the deferred payment, which we saw was the influx. We had a
Yeah.
lot of people needing defer,
Yeah.
which I told them on the line, hey, you realize if you take this physical money and give it to your auntie or uncle with a credit card and say, Annie, pay this.
There's a point on that too, right? Because I spoke to some students about
Mhm.
that as to why they just didn't use a credit card or a debit card. And some informed me they didn't have bank accounts. And
No, you didn't hear me. Let me
But
start
hold
this
on,
again.
wait.
You
but
could
wait.
give your
no,
auntie
but
the
wait,
money.
But wait,
Mhm,
wait.
mhm,
Yes, that is
mhm.
true. But the fact of the matter is a lot of some of these students were working, so they'd have jobs that would pay them in
Mhm.
cash. If you are an adult and you don't have a bank account, that is not necessarily the fault of your institution. That is kind of on you. Because there's a bank right across the street. There's Commonwealth Bank. There's Scotia Bank that's also right across the street.
Yes,
Like-
RBC.
but I do also I do.
And you get debit cards now by default. So it's like,
Right.
it's more convenient now for you to take advantage of these things.
So,
Right, but
but
that
talking about
KYC
life lessons and life skills, but
It is, it is.
That KYC process to know how to get a bank account is something that we kind of take for granted. We all in this room can get a bank account.
Yeah.
But
there's
you
a-
still have to apply and
Right,
show
but there's
for the job.
there's still a process behind it to where a lot of people, more people than we're comfortable with in this country, whether in the Family Islands or locally here, that cannot pass those KYC protocols. So it's like, yes, as a university provide this solution, but there is a large community that you are now providing services
This-
for that cannot pass the KYC
This-
to indulge or engage in that an avenue as well.
Well,
Also,
I-
can I, before you say that, I just want to put
Go.
a small pin because I don't want to be long.
By the way.
Aha, this guy.
That's what I wanted.
This guy, hey, how was going to benefit me? So I went to Brock at Scotia on campus. Within the first week, along with my acceptance letter, I got a program where Scotia gives you a card.
Mhm.
You don't need to pay nothing for 3 months. You can use all your money transactions because everything is basically cardless on that property.
Right.
We are technically in the position, I think, comfortably to say that we are cardless. You can get food through cards. You
Yep.
can pay at the bookstore. You can pay online. You buy most things offline anyway.
Right.
And I personally, as a business, I have one of those swipe machines, but you can transfer PayPal and especially the programs that you do.
Mhm.
So I feel like as a university, I feel we're going to come to a place where we say, okay, we're cardless. You don't need money on UB campus. And with programs, because we did CelliPay back in the day, which was supposed to use your cell phone, connected to your, like you could put $10 minutes on your phone,
Right.
and that $10 equal to $10.
Mhm.
So then we had at that time Domino's. And as people came to get that pizza, we gave them 10, and we was like, hey, do this for me. Had them practice it and transfer us $2.
Right.
And they transferred the $2 to him, the vendor. Say, here, here's your pizza. Technically, you just paid. Now the minutes went down to 8, and it's like, oh, so I got 10 minutes, but my minutes. So we was trying to teach them that, hey, in the world, and we know inside some developing countries, I don't want to say third world, we're better than that. Developing countries, is that they are using their telephone, especially places like Haiti. Haiti had a program like that, where Haitians would use minutes like a bank account. Cost banking fees and regulations, of course, are too expensive, and they can't make sales. So with all this in mind, and us being a university, why, again, are we still going online to pay by cash, firstly? And second of all, what do we need to do to get to the next level, to get on, like, the program that you're doing, where, and I have an intern right now who talks about it, they have this thing called WeChat. In
China.
Yeah.
And WeChat has everything. They get paid, they can do transactions, and then there's the WeDollar. I don't know what they call it, but it's like this dollar currency where you could go to different vendors and the currency deals with it, and people could pay you like that. It isn't almost like Bitcoin, eh? It's like you don't physically see the money.
It's a digital.
It's a digital wallet.
Yeah,
digital wallet.
Yeah.
Where you can load cash and you can use this cash to purchase various things. It's very safe, secure. Imagine environments to where like you typically have to pay with card, and now you don't have to even give out the information at all. You could just go to a simple. You can go to wherever you go to load up your cash. Let's say for Island Pay, you can go to Island Pay kiosk, and you can load up your cash, and from there you have an array of different merchants you can now go to and use this cash without having to disclose any of your personal information on a secure platform.
I think that's good.
Right. But the key to Island Pay is that it allows students that cannot pass the KYC to get bank accounts. It still gives them access to these modern day financial features without having to go through the rigmarole.
Now, I have the end of there because we're almost at our mark. But I want to say I think as a university we have to even go beyond just securing their money in a bank account. Financial intelligence is what we're missing.
Financial literacy as well.
Yep. Agreed.
Statistically, we know about the American population because I don't know if they did a study over
here. We know about ours.
We know that college students pay the most in society. They spend the most. They waste money, basically, and they have, especially college fees or obligations, that their money in the American system is like a rotation. I get a loan, I get money, going into consumerism, and it continues in the cycle until they get stuck in their rat race, which is now you graduate from college, but a little bit of debt, your job ain't really paying, and you got to pay back the student loan. Over here, the university is setting it up so students have a free education.
Right.
Once you keep up your grades, of course, you have some kind of qualification.
Yeah, you got to pay something.
And a lot of people are mad. They're like, listen, no, I should get a free education. I was like, yeah, but you can't go there like a C nurse.
You have to perform.
You can't go to the patient and say, listen, I got straight C's and D's, but I should nurse. Nobody's going to be happy.
No.
They're going to run away. So, moving into the direction of the future, which I love my leadership team.
Yeah.
Dorm life. First year inside the dorms. We're going to make sure you're integrated, have a little more spirit. That's why I'm glad they hired me, because I get promote Mingos and be proud. And that's the direction of the future. Knowing that that's coming, how can we do our part as alumni to make sure that vision comes true?
I think we can act as a timestamp to show what it was we were going through. Because it's very, very easy when you only know what you're going through to complain. When you know what
hold on.
That's where deep. We going?
That's deep, because most freshmen coming from high school and they always compare UB to something. Yep. So they keep saying UB into university, and I keep telling them what university. I be in the Bronx. I always tell people that. I'll be in other institutions. I have friends who be in there. My little sister being off. You know what I'm saying? I know people who went off for the first year and it's like hype, and then after that it's like, this bills pay. Like I gotta find an apartment and I gotta survive.
Yeah.
So it's like Walmart runs.
We about to give you this free education. We have options because we have a smaller campus. If UB, the main campus, is too much for you as a student, go to Freeport campus. The lines are shorter. There's a dorm. It's a beautiful dorm. It's like you have 3 people in one room. Beautiful pictures. And there's a whole option of you getting your degree. And there's a lot of Northern Bahama students who only did their classes in Grand Bahama and now are teachers and nurses. So with all these options, again, the alumni, and I'm going to say my part, I feel like the alumni have to do our part of putting together foundations and funding. We don't have the power right now to dictate the process. If our alumni association was, I'm a director on the board, but if we is truly strong, the university has a policy that says, okay, you can't decorate your gowns and your robes. If we was really strong,
That wouldn't be the case at all.
we could just come to the
That's
university
true.
and say, listen, we're
Mm.
giving y'all 2.9, or we're giving y'all 3 million a year. We need them to decorate their robes.
I mean, what I really want to see, I really want to see a bunch of alums, inclusive of myself. I'm down for this. If any other alum is interested, I want to see a new T block. To be honest with you, I want to see a new
You got a
technology.
new-
I think
no,
no,
not SAS.
no.
That's not technology.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's a bunch of different people, a bunch of
Oh,
different
you mean
schools
downstairs?
all together.
Yeah, he
I'm
has a
talking
point.
about
He has a point.
new technology
I think
block.
that's a good part. That's a good part, though.
I don't know
But I'm
what
saying that's a good part to end the show on is like the idea and the conceptualization of a new T block, a new technology block.
You just love that point.
I do. I love
It's
technology.
important.
He's
It's
ending the
important.
show. He's
It's
ending the show.
important.
On that note. Period. We need a new T block. Period. Y'all ain't building sustainability building. No, build this. And that'll be our show for
Build
the day.
both. It's
Ladies
both
and
money.
gentlemen, give it up for Klaus and Ramen. Great show. Dawn, thank you for coming back. Dawn hasn't been here for like 4 or 5, 6 years. He's being next door pretending to work, but we want to thank you so much for listening. This is a new show, Creative Leadership. The students who are listening, we appreciate you. The staff that are listening, the alumni, thank you for listening. Let's continue to grow.
All right.
All right. Hey, great conversation, man.
Thanks, man.
Great.
Anytime y'all want to talk.
Yeah.
Oh, let's kill it.